Hello friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make miso. Miso is a Japanese fermented food. Miso are mainly made from beans. You can use chickpeas, you can use barley, you can use other grains too, but mainly it's fermented beans. Miso has lots of enzymes, and these enzymes can help to break down the starches into simple sugar, protein into amino acids, and fat into fatty acids. So your body can absorb all the nutrients from the food, the kind of food you are eating. So basically miso helps to get the nutritional balance in our body. It can also help to improve the digestive system, and miso has lots of vitamins, especially vitamin B, vitamin B12, vitamin B2. Then it has vitamin K and antioxidants. So there are a lot of health benefits. You can consume miso every day. Generally miso soup is very popular, and it is said that miso soup has more amino acid than chicken soup. So you can understand how healthy miso is. But miso is time consuming. It's not for everyone. There are various kind of misos you can make at home. Some misos takes few months, but the kind of miso I'm going to make today, which is red bean miso, I think it's called akka miso. This miso will take longer, but the taste is very complex, and the health benefits also. It is said that it is more in red bean miso. I didn't have the white beans, so I couldn't make the white miso, which is called shiro miso. And shiro miso is the sweetest miso. And when we are making miso, we use koji. Koji is basically moldy rice. So this miso recipe I have learned from a Japanese lady. She was in Singapore and she was holding a workshop, so I have attended that workshop. And she shared a few more Japanese fermented food recipes, which I'm willing to share with you all. But I think it's good to start with miso, because miso is quite simple, even though it takes long time, but the process is very simple. So let's see how to make miso. Always soak your beans before you cook them. I'm going to pressure cook these beans, but if you don't have the pressure cooker, you can cook normally, but it will take around 3 hours. Before you start, I would suggest you wear gloves and also mask if possible, because we are handling koji. Koji is basically moldy grains. It can be rice, it can be barley, or it can be any other grains. And today I'm using store-bought koji. You can make koji at home, but the process is different. I will do another video for that. So basically right now I have taken 100 gram koji, and I'm using around 15 grams sea salt and mixing it together, and I'll break down the koji into like a powder. When you are making miso, make sure that all the utensils you are using are sterilized. You can also clean them with alcohol like vodka. And hands, if you are using your hands, it should be very clean also. So after adding salt, massage the rice, koji and salt well, so that everything will be evenly distributed, and then add little water. The water will help to bind together like a dough, and later we are going to mix it with the cooked beans. But don't add too much water. It should be only 10 to 15 ml water, because we don't want any extra moisture in miso. So always remember, if you are making white miso, you need more koji. The ratio should be 2:1. That means if you are using 100 grams koji, then you can use 50 grams beans. Because the shiro miso, which is white miso, is basically sweeter miso. And when you add more koji, your miso will be more sweet. Here is my cooked red beans. How you will know if the beans are well cooked? If you take one beans between two fingers, and if you press, it should get mashed immediately, like this. Now you need to mash the soybeans. For that you can use a food processor, or you can use the potato masher. but I'm just using my hand because I like beans to be little bit coarse. I don't like a totally smooth paste, so I will just use my hands because these soybeans are very wet cooked. So this is the consistency I'm looking for. If you want smoother one, you can always use the blender. And now I'm adding the salt, 10 grams salt. So total 25 grams salt I'm using here. And now I'm going to add the rice koji into my mashed soybeans. Mix them really well. If your miso is too dry, you can use the cooked soybean water. That's why you don't throw the soybean water, and you can use here, but make sure your miso is not very watery. It should be dry like this, like a dough. Take a sterilized jar. In Japan, they use wooden barrel to make miso, and then they make a miso ball, and then they just throw at the bottom so that there will be no air in between. So here I don't have that much scope, but I'm just trying to make a dough ball, and then I'm just throwing inside the jar. But when you are throwing, just be careful. I'm using my hand to press down, but you can use a heavy item to press down the miso and to make sure that there is no air space in between. This is very important. If you have air space in between, there could be fungus, bad bacteria grow. So that's why make sure there is no air space in between. Press really hard. Now I'm going to sprinkle some sea salt on top. Since this red bean miso is going to stay longer, like 6 months in the room temperature, I'm going to sprinkle quite a lot. But if you are using white beans, then you don't have to sprinkle a lot. You can just use let's say 2% of the total miso. So now I'm adding one parchment paper or baking paper. You can use a plastic also, but I prefer the baking paper, and I will ensure that the baking paper is nicely covering the whole surface area. Now it's time to put some heavy item. For that I will use this Ziploc bag, and I will use normal kitchen salt. You can use sugar as well, or you can use rice or beans, which will have some weight, so that we can ensure that there is no air passing. For red bean miso, after 3 months, take out everything and put the miso upside down, like the bottom should be on top, so that the fermentation will occur evenly. and after putting upside down, then you can put it back the baking paper and the weight or the salt or sugar, whatever you are using. On top you can use a kitchen cloth or kitchen towel like this, and then on top you can put the lid loosely. You don't have to put the lid tightly because at some point there could be some carbon dioxide producing, and it can explode. So leave your miso in the room temperature this way. If you are using white beans, then you can leave for 3 to 4 weeks in room temperature, and then you can put it back in the fridge. There also you have to keep 3 to 4 weeks. If you are using red beans, then you have to keep at least 6 months in room temperature, but in between don't forget to turn upside down. Like after 3 months you can turn upside down, and then another 3 months you wait in room temperature, and then you can put in the refrigerator. There also you have to wait another 3 to 6 months. The more you wait, the more nice the flavor and the aroma will be. In case you see any mold growing on top layer, you can scrap the top layer, and then you can consume the below part. It should be safe. So I hope you will make the miso at home. I know it's time consuming, but the taste really nice. It's different from the store-bought one. Hope you have liked the video. If you have liked the video, like, comment and subscribe. I will see you again with other fermented food and drinks recipes. Stay healthy and happy. Bye.